Picture this. You're 70 years old, lacing up your sneakers for that daily walk you've sworn by for decades. The sun's out, the birds are chirping, and you're ready to rack up those steps until halfway through, your knees start groaning like an old rusty gate. You pause, catch your breath, and think, wait a minute, is this what aging is supposed to feel like? Am I just done? I'll let you in on a little secret. You're not done, not even close. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on life after 70, where walking less might just be the key to unlocking something better. And trust me, it's a story worth hearing. I saw it firsthand with my grandma Rose. She's 72, with a smile that could light up a room and a stubborn streak to match. For years, she'd power walk the neighborhood like it was her job. Rain or shine, nothing stopped her. But then, something shifted. Her joints started aching, her energy tanked, and those walks she loved, they turned into a slog. She'd come home, plop on the couch and sigh, I guess this is it. But here's the twist. Grandma didn't give up. She got smart. She traded those endless laps for two simple things that changed everything. And now, she's stronger, happier, and sharper than I've seen her in years. So, what's the deal? After 70, it's not about slowing down. It's about living better. We're diving into a journey today that's all about balance. Less pounding the pavement, more clever moves to keep your body and mind humming. From my Uncle Joe's creaky knees to my mom's quiet struggles, I've watched the people I love wrestle with aging and come out on top. Stick with me, because this isn't just a list of tips. It's a story of real people proving that after 70, life doesn't fade. It transforms. Ready to see how? Let's go. 1. The walking trap. Less steps, more strength. 5:55 to 8:37. My Uncle Joe was the king of walking. Every morning, he'd strap on his beat-up sneakers, grab his trusty step counter, and hit the streets like a man on a mission. 10,000 steps a day, that was his gospel. But then, right around his 71st birthday, those steps started fighting back. His knees swelled up, his hips ached, and he'd hobble home looking like he'd run a marathon, not strolled the block. I thought walking was supposed to keep me young, he grumbled one Thanksgiving, rubbing his legs. Turns out, after 70, piling on the miles can wear your joints down to nothing. That cartilage we rely on, it thins out with age, and every step can feel like grinding gears without oil. But Joe didn't throw in the towel. He pivoted. His doctor clued him in. Balance is the name of the game now. Walking less doesn't mean giving up. It means getting smarter. Joe swapped some of those steps for strength training. Nothing crazy, just light dumbbells and a stretchy resistance band he keeps by the TV. It's like giving his muscles a pep talk to support those cranky joints. And then there's the real magic, low-impact stuff. He started swimming at the community pool, grumbling at first, but now he's hooked. It's like walking on air, he says, grinning. Yoga's in the mix too, gentle stretches that keep his heart ticking and his body limber without the grind. Last month, I caught him bending down to grab something off the floor. No groans, no curses. Who knew less walking could feel this good? He laughed. It's not about quitting movement. It's about moving right. For Joe, ditching the step obsession for a balanced mix turned back the clock on those knees. So, if your joints are singing the blues, take a page from Uncle Joe. Walk less, lift a little, and float through a swim or a stretch. Your body will thank you. 2. Why 70 feels like a turning point. I'll never forget the day my mom turned 70. She sat at the kitchen table staring at her coffee and said, "I didn't see it coming, this slow fade." It hit me hard because she'd always been unstoppable, chasing us kids, gardening, cooking up storms. But now, she was tired, quieter, like something inside was winding down, aging sneaky like that. After 70, your body starts cashing the checks you wrote in your younger years. Bones get brittle, joints wear thin, and your immune system, it's not the bouncer it used to be. Chronic diseases like diabetes or arthritis start knocking at the door louder than ever. It's not just the physical stuff either. Mom admitted she'd been skimping on groceries, canned soup instead of fresh veggies, because it's cheaper and easier. She wasn't moving much beyond the couch, and with Dad gone, the house felt empty. Loneliness, tight budgets, and a diet that's more survival than fuel, it's a perfect storm. Studies back this up. After 70, if you don't shake things up, the decline picks up speed, your heart weakens, your muscles shrink, and even your defenses against colds or worse start slipping. Mom's doctor put it blunt. You're not sick, you're just rusty. But here's the thing, 70 isn't the end of the road, it's a fork. Mom's story isn't unique. Millions hit this wall. The difference? What you do next. She could have stayed in that fade, but she didn't. She started small, swapping soup for scrambled eggs, taking short strolls instead of marathons. It's not about fighting age, it's about understanding it. After 70, your body's changing, sure, but it's not broken. It's just asking for a new playbook. Mom's still figuring it out, but that spark's coming back. If you're nodding along, feeling that shift yourself, don't panic. This turning point, it's not a cliff, it's a chance to rewrite the rules and keep rolling. 3. 2 game changers to replace the walkathon. My neighbor, Mrs. Linda, was a walking machine. Every day she'd shuffle around the block, rain or shine, like clockwork. But after 70, those walks left her winded, achy, and honestly, a little bored. I thought I was doing the right thing, she told me over tea one afternoon, but I just felt old. Then she stumbled into 2 game changers that flipped the script. And trust me, they're simpler than you'd think. First up, food. Linda ditched the whatever's easy diet, goodbye soggy toast, and started eating like she meant it. Protein became her new best friend. Flaky salmon, fluffy eggs, even some tofu she swore she'd never touch. She piled her plate with greens, berries, and chewy whole grains, cutting back on the salt, sugar, and greasy takeout she used to lean on. It's not a diet, she says, it's fuel. And she's right. Studies show that after 70, protein keeps your muscles from fading, while veggies and grains keep your ticker humming. Linda's got more pep in her step now, and she's not even walking that much. Then there's the second trick, mind workouts. Linda picked up a sketch pad one day, just doodling at first, and now she's painting little landscapes like a pro. She started reading mystery novels too, and last week I caught her waltzing around her kitchen to some old jazz tunes. Keeps my brain from rusting, she winked. She's onto something. Research says stuff like drawing, dancing, or even strumming a guitar fires up your neurons, fights stress, and kicks loneliness to the curb. Linda's not just surviving, she's glowing. Now she's whipping up dinners that'd make a chef jealous and twirling like nobody's watching. Walking's got nothing on this. If you're past 70 or heading there, take a cue from Linda. Feed your body right and spark your mind. It's not about logging miles, it's about lighting up your days. 2 simple swaps, and she's proof it works. 4. The silent killer. Sitting too much. 2305 to 2621. My dad was the poster boy for retirement gone wrong. After he quit his job at 68, he parked himself on the couch like it was his new career, remote in one hand, coffee in the other. "I've earned this," he'd say, flipping channels. 6 months later, he was stiffer than a board, huffing just to climb the stairs. His doctor didn't mince words. "You're not resting, you're rusting." Sitting too much after 70 isn't just lazy, it's dangerous. Heart trouble, creeping pounds, even a foggy brain. It's like inviting every health gremlin to move in. Dad's wake-up call came when his pants stopped fitting. "I'm not buying new ones," he grumbled, but he couldn't ignore the numbers. Too much sitting messes with your ticker, your waistline, and your head. The fix? Moving, just not the hardcore stuff. He started puttering in the backyard, snipping roses and pulling weeds. It's light, but it counts. Then he picked up stretching. Awkward at first, like a bear doing ballet, but it loosened him up. Even a little kitchen two-step while the coffee brews keeps him ticking. Experts say it's these low-key moves, gardening, dancing, anything, that keep the rust off. The real gold? Small habits. Dad ditched the elevator for stairs when we'd visit the mall. He'd stand and pace while chatting on the phone instead of sinking into his recliner. "Feels silly," he admitted, "but I'm not winded anymore." Science backs him up. Tiny bursts of movement add up, cutting risks of obesity and brain fade. Last weekend, I caught him bragging about his rose bushes, pruning shears in hand, a grin on his face. He's not running marathons, but he's not glued to the couch either. Sitting's the silent killer, but moving even a little is the cure. Dad's proof. You don't need a gym, just a reason to get up. 5. Checkups, your secret weapon. 3023 to 3328. My Aunt Clara was the queen of "I'm fine." She'd brush off every sniffle, every ache, like they were no big deal. "Doctors are for sick people," she'd say, waving me off. Then, at 73, she went for a routine checkup, just to shut me up, and bam, high blood pressure she never even felt. "I could have keeled over and not known why," she admitted later, shaken. "That's the thing about after 70, stuff sneaks up on you. Regular checkups? They're like a superpower, catching villains like hypertension or diabetes before they wreck the joint." Clara's story isn't rare. After 70, your body's a little trickier. Chronic conditions love to hide, waiting to pounce. A quick blood test or a chat with the doc can spot trouble early, keeping you in the driver's seat. For Clara, a few pills and some diet tweaks turned it around. She's still kicking, independent as ever. And it's not just the physical stuff. She fessed up to feeling off lately, foggy, down, and a mental health screening caught early depression. A little therapy, and she's back to her sassy self. Docs say it's just as critical. Your brain deserves a tune-up too. Last week, she strutted into our family barbecue, bragging about her latest labs. Poster child for 75 and thriving, her doctor called her. Checkups aren't glamorous, but they're game changers. They stop small problems from snowballing, keeping you free to live your life, not just manage it. Clara's proof? A 20-minute visit can buy you years. So if you've been dodging the stethoscope, think of her, healthy, laughing, and calling me out for worrying too much. It's not about being sick, it's about staying ahead. 6. Feed your soul and stay connected. My grandpa Ed was fading fast after 70. He'd sit in his armchair staring out the window, barely talking. "I'm just tired," he'd mutter. Then my cousin dragged him to a seniors dance class. Picture this grizzled old guy in suspenders shuffling to Sinatra. 2 weeks in, he was laughing, flirting with the ladies, alive again. That's the magic of feeding your soul. Stuff like dancing, strumming a guitar, or even volunteering at the food bank. It's not just fun. It slows the brain fade and lifts your spirits. Science says it fires up your mind, cuts stress, and keeps dementia at bay. But it's more than that. It's the people. Grandpa's dance crew became his lifeline. Loneliness is a thief after 70, stealing your spark if you let it. Social ties, friends, family, a chatty neighbor, fight it off. Ed's got stories now. Twirling partners, potlucks, even a little harmonica he's learning. Keeps me young, he winks. I see it too. His eyes light up, his steps got bounce. Personally, I think it's these moments, laughing over a missed beat or sharing a tune, that make aging worth it. It's not just surviving, it's thriving. Ed's not alone. Studies show connection boosts everything, mood, memory, even your heart. For him, it started with a dance. For you, could be a book club, a paintbrush, a phone call. Point is, don't fade, plug in. Grandpa's proof. Feed your soul, stay tied to others. And 70's just the start. Looking back at these stories, Uncle Joe's creaky knees, Mom's quiet fade, Linda's kitchen waltzes, Dad's couch trap, Aunt Clara's wake-up call, and Grandpa Ed's dance floor revival, I see a pattern. After 70, life doesn't just hand you a script, it dares you to rewrite it. The big lesson? It's not about clinging to what worked at 40 or 50, it's about adapting. Walking less isn't giving up, it's making room for smarter moves. Joe taught me that a little strength training and a swim can outshine a million steps. Mom showed me aging's a turning point, not a dead end. You just need a new playbook. Linda's glow proved 2 simple swaps. Good food and a busy mind can trump a tired routine. Then there's Dad, who learned the hard way. Sitting's a thief, but small moves steal back your edge. Clara's close call drove it home. Checkups aren't a chore, they're your shield. And Grandpa Ed, he's the heart of it all. Feed your soul, stay connected, and loneliness doesn't stand a chance. What ties it together? Balance. After 70, you're not invincible, but you're not fragile either. You're a work in progress. I used to think aging was a slow surrender, but watching these folks, I get it now. It's a shift, not a shutdown. Here's my take. We've got this idea that more is better, more steps, more hustle. But after 70, less can be more if you do it right. It's about quality, not quantity. A plate of salmon and greens beats a marathon. A dance class trumps a lonely sofa. A quick doctor's visit can rewrite your next decade. These aren't just tips, they're lifelines, proven by real people I love. So, if you're staring down 70 or helping someone who is, the lesson's clear. Don't fight age, dance with it, tweak the steps, and you'll be amazed how far they take you. So, there you have it. Life after 70 isn't about pounding the pavement till your knees give out. It's about balance. Eat smart, spark your mind, move a little, check in with your doc, and keep your people close. My Grandma Rose, Uncle Joe, and Grandpa Ed, they're living proof that less walking and more living can turn the page to a brighter chapter. Aging's not the end, it's a remix, and you get to pick the beat. If this journey hit home for you, smash that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for more stories like these. Drop a comment below. What keeps you thriving after 70, or what are you planning for when you get there? Let's keep this vibe going. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong, stay connected, and keep dancing through life.